You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We begin tonight with news out of southern Florida. A brand new pedestrian bridge collapsed this afternoon, and authorities are claiming there are fatalities. ABC's Zachary Keish joins us live from the scene in Miami with more on this developing situation.
There are two briefings currently underway, and federal investigators are on their way to the site. This as we learn more information about the victims.
We do have the whole bridge is down across the whole side of 8th Street.
10 patients, 2 are extremely critical, both were operated on emergently, and 8 other patients who have injuries but are in stable condition.
The bridge was installed less than a week ago to increase safety to a busy part of the Florida International University campus, where officials say heavy traffic's been a problem for a long time.
I saw the bridge just collapse in front of me, and it fell on the cars that were sitting there waiting for the light to change.
The bridge was intended to improve pedestrian access across Tamiami Trail from FIU's main campus to Miami's Sweetwater section, where thousands of students live in off-campus housing or in the school's newer dorm. The bridge was built on an accelerated schedule using what's been described as revolutionary technology. One of the builders, Manila Construction Management, a large and well-respected company, saying in a statement, "We are all devastated and doing everything we can to assist. We will conduct a full investigation to determine exactly what went wrong and will cooperate with investigators."
At approximately 1:30 this afternoon, we received a call for a collapsed bridge. Our units responded to find 8 trapped vehicles under the bridge.
Florida International University is one of the largest universities in the country, and because of the growing enrollment, has been sprawling across southwest Miami-Dade County for the last 2 decades. More than 100 first responders are already there on the scene. I should also note that the school is currently on spring break. Zachary Keish, ABC News, New York. Back to you.
New details tonight about a Sarasota man facing federal charges after deputies found 2 tons of explosives inside his home. 56-year-old Mark Levine was indicted by a grand jury last month. Police found 4,000 pounds of quick match and 858 rounds of .22 caliber and ammunition, all of which police believe to be explosive materials. Levine's brother, Julian Levinsky, says Levine was a troubled and problematic child who has been arrested several times, and after he got out of jail, moved in with his mother in Pelican Cove and started a business called Mark the Pyro Guy.
I know that he was getting these huge bolts of fireworks fused from China. For me, it was frightening, but for my mother, she essentially just has had this horrific, dire fear of being alone.
A trial date has not been set yet, but if convicted, Levine faces up to 32 years in prison. Venice police are trying to figure out what caused the death of a 23-year-old woman. Police say her body was found off of South Park Boulevard in Venice around 7:45 this morning. Police have not said how the woman died or released her name.
This is a troubling situation, and we're obviously concerned. We don't know at this point whether or not we're dealing with a homicide, but we are very initial into our investigation, and we're hoping to come back with some more information soon.
Police say this appears to be an isolated incident and there is no danger to the community. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man for bringing a concealed gun onto the campus of Lakeview Elementary School. Deputies say 48-year-old Wilfred Nazario went to pick up his grandson from school after a dispute, and witnesses saw him take a firearm out of his car and place it in his waistband before walking onto the campus. Deputies got to Lakeview and asked Nazario if he had a gun. He was later arrested and charged with 1 count of possession of a concealed firearm on a school campus. A 2-month-old baby is being treated tonight at All Children's Hospital in St. Pete after a fall. Sarasota County deputies and fire rescue responding to the scene this afternoon on Vincent Road. Officials calling for the child to be airlifted. Deputies say it is too early to say what happened. This is an ongoing investigation. Now to a project hoping to get more people out of their cars here in Sarasota. County commissioners recently approved a bond for a referendum for voters to consider this fall, with funds necessary to extend the Legacy Trail, which currently runs from Venice and stops just south of Clark Road. Voters will have to approve bonds for as much as $65 million.
What's the benefit to the county and the citizens of this abandoned railroad. It's an eyesore. It doesn't promote any beneficial use at all.
FDOT could pitch in a couple million through a Sun Trail grant for $7.5 million. That referendum will be on November's general election ballot. Lessons learned after Irma. Sarasota County is taking steps to improve its response to hurricanes. A review led by the former FEMA director Craig Fugate was just released. It recommends Sarasota County opens all shelters at once instead of staggered openings when each is filled. The Office of Emergency Services has also decided to allow pets in every shelter.
If we do have a hurricane that comes towards us, our citizens need to be prepared to take action. They need to have a plan for 72 hours post-storm. They need to know where they're going to go, where their local shelter is, and then they need to heed the warnings of emergency management and our government officials when we say it's time to evacuate. It means there is a potential threat and we need to move.
We have put a link to the full report of recommendations from the former FEMA director on our website. Just visit mysuncoast.com. Now let's head over to ABC7's chief meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the first alert forecast. Bob.
Hurricane season just 3.5 months away to the start of the 2018 season, that is. Nothing to worry about lately. All this week, it's been cold out there, but clear, and a lot of sunshine this afternoon. Beautiful conditions in the afternoon anyway. This morning's lows were in the low 40s. It looks like to be a gorgeous sunset. If you have any photos, send them to pix@mysuncoast.com. 62 degrees right now. It's clear, and the dew point stays low. It's at 36 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 9. So one more night with temperatures expected to drop down in the 40s across most of the area. Now we have clear skies here. That's a result of this high pressure ridge, which is firmly in control. And now this high is going to shift off eventually to the east here, and it will set up over the weekend just to the east of Florida. That will allow us to see this mild conditions return on an easterly flow right across our state. So temperatures actually will get warm on Sunday. We're expecting highs near 80 degrees in some areas. Current temperature at 66 in Jacksonville, 69, pretty nice in Orlando right now. Comfortable in Miami at 70 and 69 in Key West. And statewide, the forecast low temperatures will be down in the 40s here. We'll see some 50s across west central Florida. This is at 3 a.m. As I mentioned, we'll get down in a few mid-40s, and then by 10 o'clock, though, it should warm up quite nicely. Low 60s will be into the lower 70s by, it looks like, say 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Watches and warnings. Now, there is a red flag warning still in effect. That's for the high fire danger. High fire danger exists when the humidity drops below 35% and we see a bit of a wind around. And Titan radar not showing anything upstream. Things are all quiet there. Your evening planner looks nice, clear, but cool. By 11 o'clock, 51 degrees under clear skies and generally light winds. Now, boating's been tough lately. That boating weather will improve as well, just in time for the weekend. So the weekend finally starting to look really quite nice with warm temperatures. Beaches will be packed, I'm sure.
Bottle it.
That's right, and sell it. We'd be millionaires and billionaires in that
Absolutely.
case.
Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, with traffic on the Suncoast being so heavy, how could emergency vehicles arrive on the scene quickly?
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Word has gotten out the Suncoast is paradise, and the question is our popularity in some cases killing us? Tonight, Dwayne Lindo has an incredible story of how EMS was delayed getting a heart attack victim to the hospital because of traffic and local construction. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, the amount of visitors and vehicles on the road, especially during season, plays a huge factor when it comes to emergency services getting to a call in a safe and quick manner. One woman living on Siesta Key bears witness to that. On any given Valentine's Day, couples are buying each other flowers and candy. But for Leslie Bellamini, living on Siesta Key, this Valentine's Day with her boyfriend ended in literally a broken heart.
About 11:30 that morning, he basically dropped of a massive heart attack.
Her son immediately dialed 911 and she took action.
I rolled him over and noticed that he wasn't breathing and that he was discolored in the face, and I immediately started CPR.
Bellamini is aware of Siesta Key traffic and says she was conscious of every second.
It was probably a good 5-7 minutes till the sheriffs arrived, because they're usually right across the street, and it was at least 15 minutes till the EMS arrived.
For Sarasota County Fire Chief Michael Regner, a consistent and clear emergency response plan is keeping in close contact with bridge tenders on the North and South Bridge. When there's a call on the key, communication begins.
They will put down the bridge if it is up to create an avenue for us to get the cars out of the way so that we can respond out to the emergency that's out there.
Regner says there's a strategy when multiple calls are received within certain locations.
We're always looking to move our units around that are not on response and are available. So we do play a shell game, if you will, but that is because certain units are already out on emergencies, and you have to be able to cover those other emergencies that may come in.
With sirens wailing and lights flashing, fire and EMS personnel roll through red lights at busy intersections. But for safety purposes, the county has a system that has been in place for about 5 years, allowing vehicles to interact with traffic lights. It's called Opticom.
And our units, when they're in emergency mode, either an ambulance, a fire truck, a ladder truck, any one of those that are in emergency response, can make contact with the intersections they are approaching on the roadway and take over the lighting system so that the emergency unit has a green light.
With Fire Station 13 located on Siesta Key and Station 11 right off the South Bridge, as well as 28 total fire stations in Sarasota County, officials are just going down every avenue for systems better equipped to save lives.
If there is a traffic issue or traffic delays that are beyond our control, we will look and send the next closest unit and a different way to get there so that it's quick as possible that we can get to that emergency.
Bellamini says every situation is different and every minute counts when it comes to a life, but offers a little advice to motorists.
People need to get out of the way of emergency vehicles. You need to pull over because you never know where they're going and whose life it could save.
And the fire chief agrees. When you have one of these emergency vehicles behind you, they're always requesting the right of way with emergency lights on, pulling over to the right so they can navigate around the vehicle.
Dwayne, thank you. Coming up in a moment, the president of the Siesta Key Association at the Trapezoid.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Welcome back. Is our popularity killing us? On Valentine's Day of all days, a Siesta Key man died of a broken heart, a heart attack. According to his girlfriend, it took EMS 15 minutes to respond, an ambulance winding its way through traffic and bridge construction. And the question is, are Siesta Key's crowded streets, traffic and construction putting lives at risk? Joining us for more is Gene Kesakowski, the president of the Siesta Key Association, and our ABC7 reporter, Dwayne Lindo. Gene, thank you so much for talking to us. And I know you have been in constant communication with county commissioners about this. You talked to Al Mayo today. What did they say?
We did. Well, we didn't talk specifically about traffic. We were there for another topic, but I did talk with him about the fact that he couldn't be here tonight. He otherwise would have been, but he has a previous engagement that prevented him from coming. But it's been a conversation with us and the commissioners and the sheriff and the fire department for quite a while now. Probably the last 3 or 4 years especially, it's become particularly intense at certain times of the year.
Now, we asked and invited EMS to join us tonight, and also the sheriff's office. They both declined. Dwayne, I would imagine that EMS and the sheriff's department obviously did not create the problem. They're the folks who are having to deal with it.
Right, and they're trying to make the necessary steps to try to alleviate the problem of traffic, as mentioned in the piece. They realize, especially during season, that you have quite a bit of folks that come here. You mentioned in your intro that this is a place of paradise, so you're going to have quite a few people here during the season. So they've taken the necessary steps to try to alleviate or try to get from point A to point B in a safe and efficient manner.
Gene, could you describe how dramatically different is traffic and getting around Siesta Key is different in season than it is, let's say, in July or August?
Well, we're not here in July and August.
Well, there you go.
But I'll tell you what we do like to do is come down in the fall. It's a great season in Florida. Maybe I shouldn't say that because we try to keep that secret. But the traffic is not bad there. So it kind of goes back to maybe 7, 8 years ago when you could get around. Traffic was a little sticky at certain times, but mostly it was pretty manageable. It seems like since then it's been growing year after year after year. We bought in about 2011 and 12. We actually went back to New Hampshire during March because gridlock was on the island. But it was just that month. Now it's sort of stretched out more. President's Day, for example, was crushing traffic. So I think there's more baby boomers are coming in. They're living on the mainland. They want to get to the beach. There's more traffic just all the time now coming back and forth across those bridges.
Okay, and we're going to talk more about that in our next segment. We are just getting warmed up. We'll have much more on EMS and traffic concerns right after we check the First Alert weather, so stay with us.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Our conversation on EMS traffic concerns continues right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Ellen. We're watching a beautiful sunset this evening. Nice conditions out on the waters. Finally, after a pretty windy week, it's been tough for boating. And now, just as we head into the weekend, things looking much better as high pressure moves right over the top of Florida. And when that happens, the winds calm down as that air is sinking. But unfortunately, a red tide has come back a little stronger than it has been over the past couple of weeks. We've been watching this. You know, it started up here a little bit, and then it drifted down south into Collier County and into Lee County, stayed down there for a couple of weeks into February, and then March it started working its way back northward. Now notice these are red indicators there. Those are sample reports of red tide. It's not a widespread red tide event right now. It's sporadic along some of the area beaches from Venice southward, but as far as the high category goes, it's greater than 1 million cells per liter. And it only takes low categories to start causing fish kills. So there have been some reports, just minimal reports of some fish dying on Minnesota Beach, and that's from 14 samples taken. We're going to get a full report tomorrow afternoon, so you want to tune in for that. We'll have it on our Facebook page too. And again at mysuncoast.com as well on our internet page. Fire weather warning. We had a fire earlier today near Casperson Beach, and we are looking for high fire danger in these counties in red. That's because the humidity is just so low. It's low here too, but not below the criteria used to put those high fire warnings in. So we'll have the east wind tonight, and that high pressure ridge will slip off east of the state, and you'll really start to notice an easterly component to our wind as opposed to that north wind, which really gives us that chill. Now we'll get a sea breeze each and every afternoon. As that sea breeze develops, our winds will switch around for a little while. But generally out of the east and southeast throughout the day on Saturday morning are becoming onshore in the afternoon. So temperatures at the beaches, say at Casperson, Venice, Siesta Key, all the way up to Toledo and Longboat, as well as Anna Maria. Temperatures there for highs on both Saturday and Sunday will be in the low 70s because of that quick switch around. But inland areas, say Lakewood Ranch, also into say Palmetto, Parrish, Arcadia, and Wauchula. You see highs there into the upper 70s, I believe, both on Saturday and Sunday, because the impacts of the sea breeze will be there later in the day if they get there at all. 62 degrees, our current temperature. We have a northwest wind at 9 and the pressure 30-13. That continues to rise. It was at 30-11 just an hour ago. The high today was 69. We're almost there to the 70s. We'll be there tomorrow. I think highs will be in the low 70s. Still below average, though. The lows will be close to that 42 reading tomorrow morning. We'll have them in the mid-40s, so one more day of the 40s. Temperatures currently, Holmes Beach 62. Braden 1 degree warmer. Braden at 63. 63 as well in Laurel Oak. And Siesta Key 62 degrees. Northport a little bit warmer away from the water. It's now 67 degrees there in Northport. As I mentioned, temperatures forecast tonight expected to drop down into the 40s, but then by 10 we'll start to warm up into the low 60s by 10 o'clock in the afternoon, and even getting into the low to mid 70s across places here. So this is the beginning of a warm up. Will it last? Well, it looks like it'll last through Tuesday, and then another cold front moves in and brings us a chance for showers on Tuesday, and then cooler weather for Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Your planner looks like this. A bit chilly to drop kids off tomorrow, and then we'll warm up by the afternoon. Pickup looks good, 73. High pressure keeping us in the clear sky zone, I think, for Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday. You'll notice how these clouds kind of work their way around that ridge of high pressure, which will be anchored just east of the state. This system will eventually sweep the cold front our way, which will be moving through parts of the lower Mississippi and the mid-Mississippi Valley on Sunday and Monday. You can see that nor'easter, there's still a chance it could develop and work its way up the coast. But notice what happens as I put the map into motion. Most of it takes off to the east, so it's not going to be directly having a huge impact, but there'll be snow for folks up there who have been dealing with a tremendous amount of snow over the past week and a half, and now it'll go on for 2 weeks. East winds turn to the northwest, and they'll subside in the afternoon down to 5 knots. There'll be a light chop in the bays and inland waters. Here's the 7-day forecast as we see it. Great for St. Patrick's Day. Lots of sunshine, mid-70s for highs. And it looks great on Sunday, too. 79, some 80s around. Spring officially moves in 12:15 in the afternoon on Tuesday. The vernal equinox. Everyone has an equal amount of time for night. Alan will be back with his guests right after this. Stick around.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the 2 newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Classical music meets modern rock talent in a very special performance. I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, the string quintet Sybarite 5 performs in our studio live and talks about their recent national accolades. A former journalist turns her experience into a gripping mystery. We'll chat with Suncoast author Pat Mechanic about her new novel. Plus, this weekend's McCurdy's comedy headliner and peak performance catering in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Welcome back. Is heavy traffic and construction causing dangerous situations on Siesta Key? And joining us for more is Gene Kusakowski, the president of the Siesta Key Association, and ABC7 reporter Dwayne Lindo. Gene, when you heard Dwayne's story here, have you seen yourself emergency vehicles having great difficulty getting to where they're going and getting off the island to bring somebody to the hospital?
They do. On the island, it's not so bad. In the very heavy condo strip where I live, there's a center island. And it was actually, there was a controversy about that because they put some crosswalks in, which are a big help. But they wanted to put raised pedestrian islands there. And the fire people said, no, 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 we won't be able to go where we need to go if you put the raised islands in. So that's not so bad. The big problem is the bridges, especially the North Bridge. It's one lane, and people really have a hard time getting out of the way. On the South Bridge, it's 2 lanes, and there are some crossovers. And I've seen when emergency vehicles try to come in, people will actually take the crossover and try and go back the other way just to get out of the way.
And Dwayne, this problem with the bridges, that's what apparently delayed the ambulance getting to and from this location.
Well, it didn't per se, but what the emergency personnel, usually what they do is they keep in constant communication with the tenders of those bridges on North Bridge and South Bridge. So if they do have a call, if Station 11, which is on the mainland, has a call, if 13 is busy, which is on Siesta Key, and Station 11 has to come on the island to come to a call, basically they get in contact with the tender, have them put that bridge down if it's up.
How long does that take?
It possibly can take up to a minute, but the point is they try to do that beforehand. They try to communicate with the tender and let them know they're coming down beforehand, and hopefully the bridge is down once they get to the bridge. And again, hopefully traffic is not too congested, I guess, when they get to the head of that bridge.
Gene, have you had conversations with the county, different departments, in terms of what can be done possibly to alleviate this problem?
Well, we have, but as I had mentioned to you earlier, the roads involved here are largely state roads. So it's really an FDOT discussion. The county has a limited number of things they can do, but they're users of the FDOT roads. So it's really a complicated conversation that you have to have among several different groups.
So here's the loaded question. You know what it is. I mean, is this just very poor urban planning, or is this just the price of being popular?
It's both, I think. Well, no. Let me do that more diplomatically.
Just remember, Visit Sarasota is listening.
I love Visit Sarasota. Siesta Key evolved over a number of years, and I've seen this. It's not only a Siesta Key problem; it's happening everywhere. Things get built, things get done. They all seem like it's a fine little thing, and then eventually you get up one day and you look around and say, "What happened?" And at that point, you really have to take a break, step back and say, okay, here's where we are. It doesn't matter how we got here, but here's where we are. how do we start to unwind this situation to get back to a more manageable state?
And are there any easy answers out there?
There are no easy answers. It's a tough problem. We were talking about getting cars off the road. One of the things people are talking about is about bike sharing. I'm a biker. I love bikes. The bike infrastructure in certain stretches of Siesta Key is not very good. So one of the things people are looking at is how do we get funds to go after some of these tough problems. They're not easy. You have to reclaim some condo property perhaps, widen the right-of-way back to where it maybe should be. They aren't easy steps, but I think it's time to start having those conversations.
And Dwayne, this is not a problem that, you know, obviously is just particular to Siesta Key. We see this every single day in downtown Sarasota. That's why people around here are so energized on the issue of development down here. And it's not just in Sarasota. If you're from the Northeast,
right,
getting through New York City, or you're from New England, and we're talking about Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, seasonal traffic has had this kind of ramification.
Yeah, you know, and you just hit the nail on the head. It's development. You know, you have a development, and it's just a matter of trying to keep up in terms of putting together roads and the necessary ways to get everything developed to accommodate for the amount of development that's coming up, and the amount of folks that are moving to this area to live, and the amount of tourists coming here to visit this great place. And just to add on to what Gene was saying too, in terms of trying to alleviate some of the traffic on Siesta Key, I mean, you have these trolleys that are out there, Uber, Lyft, that alleviates the traffic a little bit, but I mean, every little thing helps at this point.
Gene, you know, one of the questions I would have asked the county, if one of the commissioners or EMS or the sheriff's office, would be if you say that a lot of these roads are really state roads and the state's responsibility, what is the county doing to try to get money from the state to do whatever is possible to make some of the improvements that you're talking about?
Well, it doesn't really work like that. It's a state responsibility. So it's not the county getting money. It's the state
from the state, right?
Right. But
so
I mean,
are they in conversation?
They are in conversation. Commissioner Mayo told me today that he's in communication with L.K. Nandam, the head of FDOT. And again, it's not an easy problem. They are working on things. They've done some minor improvements. That Stickney Point Road intersection was really, really bad, and they fixed that quite well. So they're working on it, but it doesn't happen overnight.
You are the new president of the Siesta Key Association. How much does this come up in conversation, and what are local residents saying to you about, you know, their enjoyment of the area, considering how congested it's getting?
They are concerned. We have had a few dozen comments of people specifically health related, because we're all getting older, as much as we hate to admit it. They are concerned about, can I get to my doctor if I need to get to my doctor? Can an EMS get to me? We've had discussions about, should we have better contact with helicopter services and put those on scramble if there is a call, just in case the regular people can't get through.
Dwayne, where did you leave things with that poor woman, Leslie, who lost her boyfriend there? I mean, is this just a tragic thing that happened in her life, or is she seeking any kind of redress?
Well, look, she's just trying to, at this point, this just happened last month, obviously, early last month, Valentine's Day. She's still trying to get over the loss of her boyfriend. Her son was right there helping her out, calling 911. At this point, she's taking it day by day. This may be something, and this is what she said, this may be something that she possibly looks into, possibly trying to find the 911 call and see if there's any way we can correct a lot of the problems that we're having with traffic. So she may be a part of kind of trying to seek a solution in a lot of the issues they're having on Siesta Key with traffic sometime in the future.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back for final thoughts in a moment. Stay with us.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
And our guest joining us right now for final thoughts. So, Gene, I mean, what would you tell your friends and neighbors around here after seeing this story? And you know, we can't say this man passed away because of the time it took EMS to get there and get him to the hospital, but it is at least a word of warning.
Well, it's indicative of a problem, and I think, as I was saying earlier, we need to take a step back, look at where we are. Doesn't matter how we got here, look at where we are, and start thinking about some out-of-the-box solutions to alleviate the traffic problem. It's not an easy solution. I think it needs some serious brainstorming from the residents, from the state, from the county, and to get together and have a dialogue about what can we do to try and get this back to a more workable state.
And you know, the EMS chief said to you, it's almost a shell game that they're trying to pre-position emergency and first responders to handle the situation. But that's kind of, it seems almost like an ad hoc way to go about it.
Well, I mean, I've spoken with the chief. He assured me they're doing their best and trying to. They realize the situation with the traffic. Yeah. And just to be clear, Ms. Belamini, Leslie Belamini, she doesn't place any blame on EMS officials and county officials because of this death. Anything could have happened. It could have gone either way. They could have showed up 10 minutes earlier. Who knows? Anything could have happened. So with that being said, I think the chief realizes that there's issues with traffic, and they're trying to do the best they can to correct those things.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of you had to say about last night's show on the 1-month anniversary of the Parkland shooting. Since the shooting, Florida's legislature passed its first gun control bill in 30 years. The age to buy a rifle has been raised from 18 to 21. A 3-day waiting period was also implemented, as well as mental health provisions when buying a gun. The one thing some feel is missing is a ban on assault rifles. So we went to Facebook to hear your thoughts. And Billy says, good to see legislators listening to the will of the people instead of lobbyists. Catherine says, I want a ban on assault rifles, background checks for gun show sales and online sales, no possession of weapons until background check is approved, no time limitation, and approval before delivery of gun. Mary Louise says, unless the rapid-fire assault weapons such as the AR-15 used in the mass shootings are banned nationwide, the mass shootings may and probably will continue. It is imperative these be banned. Kate says, ban assault rifles and high-capacity magazines. We're not living in the zombie apocalypse. No civilian needs those. If you'd like to join the conversation on tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And for the latest on local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our app. If your current app doesn't work, it's expired, just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank both our guests for being here tonight. Gene Kosakowski, the president of the Siesta Key Association, and ABC7 reporter Dwayne Lindo. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather. Plus, has the Treasury Department concluded Russia interfered in the 2016 presidential election?
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on the first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, once again, a beautiful, beautiful sunset tonight. Tower cam showing basically fair skies overhead, and we are anticipating clear skies overnight. We will see the low temperatures again dropping down into the low to mid 40s, so a little chilly start. All right, now here's Casey Key webcam showing basically flat, calm conditions out there. Seas running less than 2 feet now, which is good news for boating as we approach the weekend. Again, looks to be pretty good there as far as the forecast goes. And watches and warnings. Nothing going on here right now. We do have some fire weather watches going on now across portions of central Florida and down to our south into Charlotte and Lee counties. Currently, it's nice out there, clear skies, 62 degrees. The sun has set indeed, and the dew point temperature 36. Winds are out of the northwest at 9. The pressure 30-13. That's way up there, and that continues to rise. High today was well below the average, getting close to 70 though. We'll be in the 70s tomorrow. This morning's low was at 42, and the average low is at 57 degrees. Temperatures currently right now across the area 64 degrees, 66 in Jacksonville at 69. Into Orlando, 70 in Miami, and 69 degrees as far as that temperature goes into Key West. Well, look at temperatures here, low 60s right now currently near the beaches. The Gulf water temperature at 68, that's taken at the end of the Venice Pier there. And it's 65 currently in Wauchula, 67 in Arcadia, 66 in Sebring. And as far as the dew point temperatures go, there they are. Again, 40 degrees on into the Panhandle. And right now, we have 36, that's the dew point temperature in Sarasota, 44 in Key West, and temperatures in the 20s over the Northeast. And those temperatures give us an indication of how cold things will get tonight. We are expecting low temperatures to be around 10 to 15 degrees below average. Now, the nor'easter that has caused all sorts of problems continues to move away from the northern New England states. Still, though, some residual effects there. We have another little ice storm and snowstorm developing over the northern plain states that will kind of open up into a wave now into the Ohio Valley. Our forecast looks like this. We'll see high temperatures, as promised, in the low 70s. Lots of sunshine around. Temperatures will start off, though, on the cooler side. So it looks as though we'll see a pretty nice warm-up, though, in the afternoon. You think you like today's weather. You're going to love tomorrow's weather, a little bit, just a little bit warmer. And the humidity will still stay rather low throughout the day. Now, as far as current temps go, 74 in Kansas City. It's warmer there than it is here in Sarasota. 37 into Detroit, 40 in Boston now, 51 in the nation's capital, and 68 in New Orleans. Temperatures for highs tomorrow will be in the 30s and 40s, so nothing extreme at this point over the northern plains through the Great Lakes in the northeast. Boston at 37, 70 though in Atlanta, nice day there, and 85 into Kansas City. Well, here I should say into Dallas. Here's the long-range model. You'll see this purple and blue here. This is not dropping that far south through the weekend and into Monday. We stay in the orange and yellow, indicating our temperatures will be into the mid to upper 70s. And then as we move forward, you'll see that still on Tuesday, warm weather. And then we kind of get rid of that. We get rid of the oranges anyway, indicating that temperatures will go back down for highs into the upper 60s to low 70s, I suspect, on in through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week. But this week, a different story. As things shape out. Well, for boaters tomorrow, I mentioned a nice day boating. Seas running 2 feet or less with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now is 68 degrees. UV index will be high tomorrow at 9. So if you're a spring breaker heading out to the beaches, it may feel cool. You're still getting a lot of sunshine out there, and load up on the sunscreen. It's always terrible to be down here vacationing and get a burn. Cool conditions for us to start things off tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny, a bit warmer. High temperatures in the low 70s, and east winds turn to the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. The extended forecast shapes up to be really nice for St. Patrick's Day, and even warmer still. Spring comes in with a chance for showers, and then cooler after that. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Raycom Sports and Blizzard Entertainment are debuting a new 5-part series. It's called Heroes of the Dorm, and students from the Atlantic Coast region are competing in Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm for over $500,000 in scholarships and prizes. The tournament features teams from colleges across the United States and Canada battling in Heroes of the Storm, featuring characters and lore from almost 30 years of Blizzard Entertainment. We also go behind the scenes with some of these gamers to see what they're doing when they're not playing video games.
Checking primetime headlines, the Trump administration announcing it is enacting new sanctions on Russia in what appears to be an effort to punish Moscow for behavior during the 2016 elections. CNN's Jim Sciutto reports.
Tonight, the Trump administration acknowledging that Russia meddled in the 2016 election, interference that the president has repeatedly questioned, and taking its toughest action yet, enacting sanctions on Moscow to finally meet a congressional mandate to impose the penalties. Among the Russian targets on the list, all 13 people and 3 entities indicted by special counsel Robert Mueller last month for interference in the election, including this man, Yevgeny Prigozhin, who has deep ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Also sanctioned the company that Prigozhin financially backs, the Internet Research Agency, a Russian troll farm that produced divisive political posts on American social media platforms to incite discord during the campaign. Trump initially resisted the sanctions, signing them into law only in the face of veto-proof majorities in both houses. At the time, he lashed out at lawmakers on Twitter. Quote, "Our relationship with Russia is at an all-time and very dangerous low. You can thank Congress." The new sanctions also add more weight to Robert Mueller's investigation.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt,
which the president has repeatedly dismissed.
The president's been dragged kicking and screaming to this moment. What happened today with Treasury validates the Mueller indictment, which the administration was running away from.
Today, the U.S. also publicly blamed Russia for a nerve agent attack that left a former Russian spy and his daughter critically ill in Britain, deeming the action a clear violation of international law.
It certainly looks like the Russians were behind it, something that should never, ever happen, and we're taking it very seriously, as I think are many others.
Despite today's moves against Russia, however, Democrats say the president must do more.
It's far past time that they did it. There is a series of provisions of the law that are pretty mandatory that the administration has not pursued against Russia on financial institutions, on arms transfers, and other things. So there is a much more robust response that should be had.
On the day when students across the country participated in the National Walkout Day to call for tougher gun control, the school the president's son attends signed off on a letter of support. 11-year-old Barron Trump began attending St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Potomac, Maryland in 2017. It's one of more than 100 independent schools in the area that signed the letter. It calls for a, quote, robust system of background checks as well as stronger mental health services. It also opposed the proposal to arm school personnel. South Carolina police arrested the sister of Charleston church shooter Dylan Roof on charges of bringing weapons and drugs to school. 18-year-old Morgan Roof is charged with carrying marijuana, pepper spray, and a knife on campus. She also posted comments on Snapchat voicing anger about the National School Walkout yesterday. A judge set a $5,000 bond for Morgan Roof and ordered that she not return to the school. Her brother Dylan Roof was sentenced to death last year for killing 9 people at the historically black church in Charleston in 2015. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Good night.